Angus, GALYN, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
My first question would be, why and when did you feel that there was a story in Buzz Lightyear's background, in this origin of the toy?
I think was when I was working on Toy Story 2 as an animator, I was really thinking about what Buzz came from and what was the story that inspired that whole universe. And after Finding Dory, I really wanted to do something fun, like a different kind of movie, like an action thriller. And I felt like by combining the Buzz story with like a sci-fi action thriller would be a fun movie to make.
Mm-hmm. When I was watching the movie, I was thinking about the word nostalgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about why this word has become kind of a shelter for us, a refugee, like we go there to characters we know, to stories we loved when we were kids or teenagers. Why do you think that works like that?
Well, I think that we tend to gravitate towards things that were really formative, excuse me, to me, because especially movies that, at least for me, movies between like the age like 10 and 14 were really, really influential and stuck with me. And I think that nostalgia is knowable. It's consistent. It's fixed. You can think about the past, and it's easy to positive or negative fixate on that, and even the recognition of something familiar in the landscape of a world that seems very tenuous and ever changing. I think that kind of stability of memory is comforting.
I also think that in the best sense of the word nostalgia, just as we like to read the books to our children that our parents read to us, I think we're now of a generation where we like to introduce our children to the movies and the characters from the movies that influenced us when we were young.
In this particular project, I can imagine you were walking on a fine line between making a 1995 movie for a kid for that year and a movie for an audience of 2022. How was that balance? How did you keep that balance?
Well, I think we other than the setup for it being a movie that Andy saw he was excited about, we didn't spend a lot of time making period accurate story decisions or effects decisions. You know, I think aesthetically I wanted to be more couched in that kind of model miniature 80s sci-fi look to it, but the rest of it was just focusing on what would be the most exciting action film.
A couple of days ago I watched the documentary on the character that is on Disney Plus. How was your how many things did you compromise in order to make the character more recognizable for nowadays audiences?
Well, the big thing was that Buzz was a side character, so he was kind of a well-meaning idiot, a buffoon character, and so when you make him a main character, I think he can't be quite the same, and so you're really trying to find the core truth of it, which is Buzz is always in a situation where he is out of step with the other people, and in this case it would be being surrounded by people who he was not connected to through time.
And my last question, because I have a couple more minutes, is about the bet on diversity from Disney Pixar. How do you tackle that challenge in building this project? And how do you feel about the movie not being shown on certain countries because of the diversity you show in the film?
Well, doing sci-fi, science fiction has always had a more diverse portrayal than most, as it's to represent more of an idealized society and an acceptance of an idealized society of the future. We definitely wanted to take advantage of that, and we wanted to put as much diversity into the film as we possibly could. It's important, especially for children, to be able to look at the screen and see themselves and feel seen and feel heard by having that representation. I'm sorry that not all children everywhere will be able to have that experience, but we still stand true to making the film as representative and as exciting as we possibly can. And it's the film that we want to see. It's the film that we want to share with our friends and family. And hopefully it will get to as many people as it can.
Angus?
Oh, well, I think Galyn said it very well. You know, I don't really have much to add. It was a perfectly wonderful answer. So.
Oh, thank you, Don. I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.